Imagine walking into a dealership in 2026 and seeing the brand new Toyota Sequoia, standing shoulder to shoulder with giants like the Chevy Tahoe and Ford Expedition. On paper, it promises bold styling, upgraded tech, and the kind of family-friendly muscle Toyota fans have been waiting for. But here's the twist. Despite all the upgrades, early reviews suggest it might still fall behind in key areas that buyers care about most. Is the Sequoia truly the full-size SUV worth your money this year? Or are its rivals about to steal the spotlight again? Let's find out. The 2026 Toyota Sequoia arrives at a critical moment in the full-size SUV market. Toyota has built its reputation on reliability and family-friendly practicality, but the Sequoia has often struggled to break past the shadow of rivals like the Chevy Tahoe, Ford Expedition, and GMC Yukon. This latest generation is Toyota's answer to that challenge, combining bolder styling, a refreshed interior, and promises of more efficiency than before. What makes this launch so important is that buyers in the US are looking for SUVs that do it all. Space for the family, power for towing, comfort for long trips, and enough modern tech to feel future-proof. Toyota knows it can't afford to lag behind in this competitive space. So, does the 2026 Sequoia finally deliver the mix of toughness and sophistication buyers have been asking for? Or does it still leave room for rivals to pull ahead? That's exactly what we're about to find out. The first thing you notice about the 2026 Toyota Sequoia is its size. This isn't just another SUV. It's a full-size presence on the road. The squared-off body lines, bolder front grille, and LED headlights give it a commanding stance that feels far more modern than the somewhat dated look of its predecessor. Park it next to a Chevy Tahoe or Ford Expedition, and the Sequoia no longer looks like the quiet option. It looks like it belongs in the heavyweight ring. The first thing you notice about the 2026 Toyota Sequoia is its size. This isn't just another SUV, it's a full-size presence on the road. The squared-off body lines, bolder front grille, and LED headlights give it a commanding stance that feels far more modern than the somewhat dated look of its predecessor. Park it next to a Chevy Tahoe or Ford Expedition, and the Sequoia no longer looks like the quiet option. It looks like it belongs in the heavyweight ring. Now, let's talk performance, because this is where things get interesting. Under the hood, the Sequoia has ditched the old V8 in favor of a twin-turbo V6 hybrid setup. On paper, it pumps out over 430 horsepower and nearly 600 pound-feet of torque. That's not just competitive, that's class-leading. The result? Towing capacity climbs to nearly 9,500 pounds, putting it right in the sweet spot for boat owners, RV travelers, or anyone who needs real muscle. The hybrid system also means improved fuel economy compared to the thirsty V8s of the past. Toyota claims a combined figure that could crack the 20 maniac mark, something Tahoe and Expedition owners might raise an eyebrow at. Now, let's talk performance, because this is where things get interesting. Under the hood, the Sequoia has ditched the old V8 in favor of a twin-turbo V6 hybrid setup. On paper, it pumps out over 430 horsepower and nearly 600 pound-feet of torque. That's not just competitive, that's class-leading. The result? Towing capacity climbs to nearly 9,500 pounds, putting it right in the sweet spot for boat owners, RV travelers, or anyone who needs real muscle. The hybrid system also means improved fuel economy compared to the thirsty V8s of the past. Toyota claims a combined figure that could crack the 20 maniac mark, something Tahoe and Expedition owners might raise an eyebrow at. Safety tech is another Toyota stronghold. The 2026 Sequoia comes standard with Toyota Safety Sense, which includes adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and automated emergency braking. These aren't pay extra options. They're built in. For families, that peace of mind matters, and Toyota makes sure it's front and center. But of course, no car is perfect. The Sequoia's infotainment system, while visually stunning, can feel slightly laggy at times compared to the smoother interfaces in GM's SUVs. And while Toyota has made strides in cabin space, if maximum third-row comfort is your priority, the Tahoe and Yukon still have the edge. And then there's the question of price. Toyota hasn't shied away from premium positioning, and the Sequoia's starting point is expected to climb compared to outgoing models. That could make buyers think twice when similarly equipped rivals sit in the same bracket, or even slightly lower. So, where does all of this leave us? On paper, the Sequoia is stronger, faster, and more advanced than ever. But when you put it against its biggest rivals, is it truly the smarter buy? Well, before we answer that, let's break down its standout highlights and the areas where it still comes up short. And here's where the Sequoia makes its boldest statement. On the test drive, with a loaded trailer attached, the 2026 Sequoia doesn't just hold its own, it surprises you. Acceleration feels instant thanks to the hybrid system's torque, and highway merges that might leave rivals straining feel effortless here. For a vehicle of this size, that's not just impressive. It's game-changing. You can almost feel Toyota throwing down the gauntlet to Ford and Chevy. But the twist comes when you take the Sequoia off the highway and into the city. The hybrid powertrain, while strong on the open road, reveals a different side in stop-and-go traffic. It's smooth, yes, but the weight of the SUV is always present, and parking this beast in tighter suburban spots can feel like a chore compared to the slightly more maneuverable Expedition. It's a reminder that big power comes with big responsibility, and in this case, a big footprint. Inside, passengers are treated to silence. Road noise is minimal, and the hybrid system keeps things hushed when running in electric assist mode. Yet when you hit the throttle hard, there's a deep growl that reminds you this isn't just about efficiency. It's still very much about presence. And that balance of quiet refinement with sudden bursts of raw muscle might be the Sequoia's most surprising trick. Still, rivals don't let it win every round. In back-to-back comparisons, the Tahoe offers more third-row comfort, and the Expedition edges ahead in ride smoothness. So while the Sequoia might dominate in towing and torque, it's not a clear sweep victory. And that's the turning point. Toyota's SUV proves it has the muscle and the upgrades to finally stand tall in this class. But whether it's the best buy depends on what matters most to you as a driver. So, is the Sequoia truly the full-size SUV champion, or is it still a step behind in key areas? Let's break it all down in the final verdict. So after all the specs, test drives, and comparisons, where does the 2026 Toyota Sequoia land? In many ways, it's the boldest Sequoia we've seen yet, finally stepping out of the shadows with serious towing muscle, hybrid efficiency, and an interior that feels premium enough to stand toe-to-toe with its American rivals. For buyers who prioritize power, reliability, and long-haul confidence, this SUV is exactly what Toyota promised. A dependable workhorse that doesn't sacrifice modern comforts. But it's not a one-size-fits-all winner. If third-row space is at the top of your checklist, the Chevy Tahoe and GMC Yukon still pull slightly ahead. If you want the smoothest, most cushioned ride, the Ford Expedition's independent rear suspension remains hard to beat. And if value for money is your deciding factor, Toyota's pricing strategy could give some buyers pause when cross-shopping trims. That said, the Sequoia does something very important. It proves that Toyota is serious about competing in the heavyweight SUV ring again. In a market where families want an SUV that can tow, travel, and tech up all at once, the Sequoia is no longer the underdog. It's a contender, and in certain categories, like torque and hybrid efficiency, it's setting new benchmarks. For the US buyer in 2026, this means more choice and more competition, which ultimately pushes every brand to up their game. And that ripple effect could shape how full-size SUVs evolve over the next decade. leaning not just on brute strength, but also on smarter, more efficient powertrains. So, should you buy the 2026 Toyota Sequoia? If towing capacity, hybrid efficiency, and Toyota's bulletproof reliability top your priorities, the answer leans toward yes. If absolute interior space or the smoothest ride are deal breakers, you may still want to check out Tahoe or Expedition first. But here's the real question. Does Toyota's bold new Sequoia finally earn a place at the head of the table? Or will you still put your money on the rivals? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, share it with a fellow car enthusiast, and subscribe for more reviews and comparisons that help you make smarter buying decisions.